Hi, I'm Willa Patzer. Most of my youth I lived in a house immediately adjacent to busy railroad tracks, along with 3 railfan brothers and a father who was indeed a railroad man. I often traveled through this beautiful state and have great memories of our many train trips and wonderful vacations. I feel very fortunate to have found so many knowledgeable rail enthusiasts here at the J&G. We happily work to make this outstanding layout a joyful learning experience for all who see it in motion. Come join me on my next train ride and see how beautiful it is.
Come with us on a sentimental journey through the mountains and rolling hills of western Pennsylvania. Let time slow as we return to the 1950s, a time when the pace of life was a leisurely stroll. Feel the gentle swaying of the train as it floats over the magic carpet made of steel. Let your senses become attuned to the beauty in the details, and perhaps relive some memories of your own times gone by.
All aboard! All aboard!
We stopped first at a small depot. Here, several enthusiastic fellow passengers join us for our time machine ride to the past. As tickets are punched and passengers settle, a coal train continues its journey through a small town version of Silicon Valley. Of note is the Barney Kroger Building, an early edifice in the Kroger supermarket chain, which was founded in 1893 by Bernard Kroger. Coal is delivered to various companies to help them run the machinery that drives their business. The small towns of western Pennsylvania grew around the businesses that provided jobs. Outdoor recreation opportunities such as Willa Park provide a family the open space to commune with nature and each other. As we continue our journey, we pass Joe's Diner, where the local sheriff has his coffee and donut twice a day. Television was just coming of age, and the TV antenna was a necessity. Ma's Clothesline provides the opportunity to catch the sunshine and fresh air in our clothes. Whoops! Where are baby's clothes? When the workday was over, there were evenings in the park, and, if times were good, an ice cream cone and a new American pastime, summer ice skating at the indoor ice rink. Every small town may not have had an indoor ice rink, but it sure had a mechanic to fix our cars that were designed by automakers with built-in obsolescence. Churches were the glue that held us together, in the happy times and the sad. We travel over the Loyal-Hanna Bridge, which was built circa 1901 by the Pennsylvania Railroad to expand service between Pittsburgh and Harrisburg. Ashlar sandstone was used to provide strength and beauty to the 2-span arch bridge. The Loyal-Hanna Creek passes through Storybrook Forest and provides beautiful environments for recreation. As the main artery for moving goods, the Pennsylvania line was the place for entrepreneurs to build their factories. To meet the need for water, large water tanks were built to provide water storage and water pressure to the factories. Nothing was wasted. This lumber mill created a recycling system to reclaim sawdust and found ways to use it in their manufacturing process. Their creativity even carried over to their advertising department. Ivan Jenkins Furniture must have been a fun place to work. Down the track, we enter the rail yard. We'll stop here to visit with Mr. John Travis, creator of the Johnstown and Gerryville Railroad.
Good afternoon. I'm John Travis. Welcome to Johnstown Yard. This is Gandon Tower in the foreground. It controls the west end of the yard. Coming into the yard is our wheel repair facility, and next to it is our roundhouse and turntable. And that structure on the right is the coaling tower, which provides the fuel for the steam engine. Oh, and you can also see the ash pit where steamers drop their fires. Many of these structures will no longer be needed as steam is phased out of the J&G. This is a good example of our new diesel engine shop, which is part of the change that's occurring in the railroad industry in the early 50s. Beyond the shop and outbuildings, you can see the Turtle Creek Oil Company fuel tank. Over there is the diesel fueling and servicing facility. These tanks supply sand to prevent the locomotive from slipping when the rails are wet. This is the East Yard office for the Johnstown Receiving Yard. This building used to be our passenger station.
With our new knowledge of the workings of the rail yard, we walk to our next point of interest. We pass an early example of a billboard erected on railroad property. The city of Johnstown features a classic freight, express, and passenger station. A newspaper boy tells us that President Eisenhower believes we need a strong interstate highway system to augment the railroads. We try to remember what it cost to mail a letter. Was it 3 cents? And a ride on the bus cost a nickel. Crossing the tracks, we befriend an elderly gentleman who has lived here his entire life. Oh, the changes he has seen. Not to worry, that's not our train. Our new friend informed us that the daily freight and passenger train would be passing through shortly on its way to Pittsburgh before continuing on to Cleveland. So, we have some time to explore this thriving industrial area. We stop and chat with one of the workers along this abandoned railroad spur. His railroad trivia amazes us. Railroad ties can last up to 80 years. We aren't quite sure about the design of this shed. Small towns are friendly, so we aren't surprised when we're invited to explore a warehouse. We have just read in our newspaper that this is the site of a chemical spill. An inspector is overseeing the cleanup. Let's hustle off and catch our train. As we pass through the yard, we see examples of the various types of freight cars, boxcars, tankers, and hoppers, all waiting for their next journey. Before the yard tower, we see the gas car, affectionately called the Dinky. It was purchased from the Great Northern Railroad. A solitary locomotive known as a pusher sits on a sidetrack, ready to assist heavy freight trains up the steep grades of western Pennsylvania. The pusher locomotive pushes on the freight train's hind end. This common phrase brings back loving memories for engineer Willa. Her father was a railroad man, and Willa smiles as she recalls laughing with her dad each time this expression came up in conversation. We wave to the switcher, who threw the switch for us to keep on the right track. As we round the bend, Key Lake Station, our version of heaven on earth, comes into view. The lake, formerly an old quarry, is filled with day vacationers swimming, boating, and sunbathing. But we can't tarry long. We have miles to go. As we travel through the rocky countryside, we are reminded of the power of coal and the role it played in the development of our country. We stop briefly at Stenzel Valley Depot to pick up mail. We are privileged to hear a conversation between an engineer and some of his non-paying customers. Maybe they'll be riding the rail later tonight. Emerging from the tunnel, we find ourselves in the heart of the Laurel Highlands. As we climb further, a signal mast appears with an upper quadrant semaphore block signal. Off to our left, a troop of Boy Scouts explore the rocky terrain. This setting seems perfect for a commercial for Rolling Rock beer, and indeed it is. In 1939, the Latrobe Brewing Company began creating Rolling Rock beer, so named as a tribute to the water source, the crystal clear, smooth pebbled streams that became the unique beer in the green bottles. Beer enthusiasts know that each bottle has the number 33 embossed on the bottom. There are many theories as to what the 33 means, ranging from the temperature at which the beer is brewed to the year Prohibition was repealed. In any case, the brilliant copper vats and the Tito family and their dedicated staff reflect the focus on a quality Pennsylvania product. Continue our journey under the watchful eyes of the forest ranger. Emerging from the tunnel, we cross over Falling Water Gorge, just outside of Freeport, which is situated on the Allegheny River. Settled in 1796, Freeport was once a vital port on the Pennsylvania Canal. We stop here to allow a freight train to pass us. Receiving the go-ahead from the dispatcher, we wiggle our way down the tracks on our way to Jerryville, a thriving 1950s city. In many towns and cities, trains would pass right through the heart of the downtown area, adding to the hustle and bustle of metropolitan living. We stop at the Jerryville station, easily the largest and most attractive on the J&G. Its mansard roof and classic lines lend prestige to the community it serves. James Dean and Natalie Wood are starring in a classic film down at the cinema, but all performances are sold out. But let's peek in for just a second. Let's grab a hamburger at the diner, which is a replica of Edward Hopper's painting Nighthawks. Perhaps this is where the first banana split was invented. The friendly and knowledgeable people of Milt's Hardware make sure the handyman and the professional are equipped to get the job done right. The Hotel Loyal is the place to stay in Jerryville. Maybe some of us can return and find a Natalie Wood dress on sale. Next on the agenda, the downtown trolley. We're in luck. Our route on the downtown trolley takes us out to the Moss Grove industrial section. Not surprisingly, we find Volker Farm Machinery Company, United States Steel, and Space Research Associates right next to each other, helping the Pennsylvania economy flourish. Our trolley conductor beckons. Like reluctant children, we board and settle into our seats. Back to downtown Gerryville we must go. The train ride back to the present is a quiet one. Everyone wants to absorb every last detail of beauty which has been our 1950s travel. Sadly, we know that the way of life we have just experienced will never come again. But on the Johnstown and Gerryville Railroad, we can always visit and relive the memories that we hold dear.